now. Come say hi. Hurry. Okay. We are announced. Things are happening. People are here. Hey, Libby and Ralph and Lizzie and Kayla and Robert and Mayor Fleur, Ashley Basta Volleyball, Shania Lloyd and Alice Emily Pantalina. Mary is my favorite. Pops. How is everybody doing? Hi, Anika. Hey, Eddie. Happy Friday. It's finally Friday. You guys remember those days? I remember those days. Hey, Isabel. Hey. So if any of you are confused, I didn't receive a notification. That's weird. Hopefully it will go out. But if any of you are confused, I'm doing the first hour on here and then the second hour on Patreon's live streaming feature, which is, it's really cool. We really had a good time. So I'll be doing this from 2 to 3 and then the next one from 3 to 4. So total of, okay, you got the notification. Okay, cool. It did go out. And then anyways, so we'll do 2 hours total of hanging out. Thanks, Spacey Finn, for using your free spin. So anyways, yeah, so that is what is happening. Happy Friday. I had lunch with a dear friend of mine and got to catch up with him, so that was really cool. And I'm just having, do you ever have one of those days where you feel like you're all of a sudden uber productive on all the things that you've been putting off? And it's not like I've been putting off things that are important or even difficult. It's just like, I'll get to that later. Like if you've been following along on my Insta stories, Sean found my old laptop from graduate school when he was doing the huge clean out. He cleaned out our office probably, I guess it was like 3 months ago now. But I've had, thanks Calvin, woo! Anyways, thanks Morgan for all the likes and Jacqueline. So anyway, he found my old school laptop from grad school and he found a plug that would plug it in. You guys, it still worked. But I wanted to turn it on because I was curious if there's any content on it. Like, is there any photos that I don't want to lose? But because I'm always ahead of myself, I've already wiped it clean. So I opened it up and there's like nothing. It was like some old grad school documents that aren't important anymore. And so I was like, yay! So I opened up the hard drive, pulled it out. I'll smash the hard drive up and then just recycle the laptop. So anyways, oh, hi Kylie. It's your first time. Well, I hope you have a good time. So anyways, yes. It's like, you guys, it made me laugh when it was opening up a document. It was like, Word, what did it say? It was, oh, hi, Melita, sending some love. Thank you, Brooke. It said Word 2003. I was like, wow, Katie, wow. So anyways, I finally did that. Like that laptop has been sitting next to my desk for months. And so I'm just feeling really good about things. And also I'm going to hang up some new art. I'm going to swap some of my art out. I told you guys that I'm going to do that because I have some stuff from Sarah that she painted and even burned into wood to put up. I got that thing from Denise. I have all sorts of art of your guys' to put up. So I'm going to do that later. And yeah, going out to dinner with some friends. It's going to be a good day today. How about you? What good is happening in your day today? That's what I want to hear about. Oh, thank you. I'm assuming it just means lit as fuck, Dan. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Melita, you took my advice. How did it go? I hope it went well. Jamie's here. Yay! And Jenny, you just woke up. I'm so jealous. So jealous. Hey, Eddie. Or Edie. I always said Eddie, but I know it's Edie. My bad. It's Dan the Newfie Man. Oh, I see. Oh, yay, that's perfect, orbiting around. I feel like you haven't been able to get on in a while. Thank you, Christopher. Woo. Okay, Sarah's having a good day. Oh, you destroyed your calculus exam, Ghostly Lloyd. Awesome. Super cool. Oh, Calvin got a new haircut. That's wonderful. I swear a new haircut can like change your life. Oh, you took your first nutritionist appointment for next Thursday. That's awesome, Healing Health. Yay, yay, yay. Let's see. You get to leave the unit tomorrow. Jacqueline, that's wonderful news. Libby got out and did some exposure today. So proud of you. I know how hard and scary that can be. Let's see. Oh, Patty, I don't mind. The thing is, okay, I have a lot to say all of a sudden. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let my brain process. So for those of you who don't know, I try to go on walks like 2 to 3 times a week. And it's honestly time I usually listen to podcasts or I don't listen to anything. It's just time for me to like have my own thoughts. I go by myself in about 30 minutes. It's not like anything intense, but was it yesterday or the day before, I was listening to Super Soul Sundays podcast by Oprah, which I love, and she was interviewing Mitch Albom, the guy who wrote Tuesdays with Morrie. And I'm only saying this because someone asked how old I was, and I don't mind saying, and I'm 33, but so anyways, I was listening to it, and it was something, I wrote it down. I actually even kept a note in my phone because I liked it so much. And there are two things I want to share with you. The first is this, and he said that my body is just the carton I was shipped in, meaning that it doesn't really matter what it looks like. It doesn't really matter what anybody thinks about it. It's just the carton that I was shipped in. It's just my packaging. What's inside is what matters. And I know we say that all the time, but I just really like that phrase. My body's just the carton I was shipped in. I don't know. That was really, really powerful. So I like that. And then the second thing that was shared on the podcast that I found really powerful, and I encourage all of you to start listening to these Super Soul Sundays because they're not all of them are inspiring, but many of them are. And he also said, thanks, Jamie. Woo-woo, and Flo and Nessa Bug is here. And so anyways, the second thing that Mitch said on this podcast was that when he was talking with Morrie, and if you don't know Tuesdays with Morrie, it's like one of his old teachers / coaches when he was in school, and he was dying of ALS, and he spent Tuesdays with him, and he wrote a book about all the things that he taught him, and it's really powerful. I'd encourage all of you to read the book. But he said that he'd asked Morrie at one point, he said, are you jealous of me? He goes, I said it in a much more eloquent fashion, but I pretty much asked him, like, are you jealous of me and my youthfulness? Because here you are as a 78-year-old man dying, and I'm a young, healthy 33-year-old. I think he's 33 or 34. Anyway, and he's like, I just have to ask because I think that I would feel that way. And Morrie had something that was so powerful to say. He was like, why would I be jealous of you? Age is not a competition. I've been where you are. I've learned from that. I have learned from 10 years older than you and 11 years older than you and 20 years older than you. He's like, I've already been there and I've learned all the things. You should be jealous of me and all of my wisdom and experience. And he's like, you have yours and I have mine. Why do we have to compete about age? And I'm not saying it perfectly, obviously. Read the book. But it was so true. Like, I think often in life we think, I wish I could go back to that age and do it again. Or I wish I was just younger and had more energy. Or, I wish I could do this. Or I wish I was that. Or I wish I was older and had all this wisdom. Like, age is not a competition. We're all just learning about ourselves at our own pace. We're on our own path. We're in our own cartons that we've been shipped in, and we're just doing the best we can. I don't know. I just really found that to be super powerful, and I wanted to share it with all of you, but I encourage you to listen because those are just the things that resonated with me. There might be like hundreds of other things during that podcast or another podcast that really resonate with you. But anyway, so those are just some things that I found really touching and really helpful, and I just really loved that podcast. So I hope that you guys like it too. And Dan the Newfie Man finally graduated DBT therapy. It took him a year, but I'm so proud of you, and he's so happy. Yay! That's awesome news. Hooray! Thanks, Letitia, for all the likes. Anyway, so, you can see Allie B. Hooray! I can see you, Abby. Thanks, Christopher. So anyways, that was just something. Ooh, Brooke. Okay, my headphone folks. Are you ready? Thanks, Brooke, for becoming a subscriber. Woo, woo, woo. Welcome to the family. Aaron, thanks for the likes. I love your new photo, by the way. Is it like rainbow ears? I love it. Snapchat filters for the win. Okay, and Cher is here. Pantalina is back. Karen K is here. So anyways, yeah, let's have fun today. Let's learn some things. So those are just some things that have inspired me lately. Please share things with me that you find inspirational, whether it's through Twitter or even Tumblr. I still get into Tumblr questions. I don't answer a ton of them. Sometimes I do I'll just peruse and pick one and answer a couple. Let's be inspirational this weekend. I think we all could use it. Let's see. How do you subscribe? Nail Taki? I don't know. I think you just hit the subscribe button. Maybe? I don't know. How do we subscribe on here, guys? You can go to my YouTube channel. I know how to tell you to do that. But over here, it's just kind of like hanging out. Okay. Yeah, Allie B could use some inspiration. Maybe we shoot her some tweets with something that's inspirational. Aw, thanks, Hold This Pain. That's so sweet. Sending sweet compliments. Okay, Chloe asks, hey, what does it mean to have low magnesium? I'm currently battling anorexia. Well, when we aren't feeding our body the energy that it needs, we can have low nutrients. Magnesium being one that's very common, iron being another common one, and potassium being the third most common one. And I don't know, I'm not a doctor, and I don't want to pretend that I know everything. All I do know about low levels of things like that, the main one that I hear about is like electrolyte imbalance, and low potassium can cause a heart attack. And I've had clients have that happen when I was in the inpatient ward when they first come in. Like, that's what they're so frightened of, and they have to wear like heart monitors and stuff. And so I would want, and iron, like being anemic, can make us very, very tired and weak and cause all sorts of problems. Thanks, Cher. Woo, woo, woo. And so I would consult with your doctor. I would talk to them and find out what it means and how you fix it. Because sometimes it's through vitamins, sometimes it's through working with a dietitian. There's a lot of ways that we can get, our levels back up to a normal level. But, that's kind of how I would go about that. Okay. Melita says, is it normal for your tea to lay on the floor with you when you talk about the past and you're balled up? I've sat on the floor with clients before. I've never had actually, that's a lie. I have had a client lay on the floor. She wasn't balled up. She was just laying on. It's because she had a really rough week, and it was just the nature of this client. She came in and was like, I've had it, Katie. And she laid on the floor. And she was like, this week has been the worst. That test went terribly. And she was just venting. It was like her way of like throwing herself on the floor and being like, why? And so thanks, Dan, the newfie man. Woo, woo, woo. And so, yeah, and she put you there with blankets. It could be comforting. A lot of things we do as therapists is kind of ways to help make things that are uncomfortable slightly more comfortable. I mean, I've had clients who want me to sit next to them on the couch while they talk about a certain thing, or put a hand on their leg to keep them grounded, or on their back. All of that's obviously things that I would ask their permission to do. I would never do something without asking. Thanks, Cher. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, Melita says she asked where I wanted her to be. So just to help you feel comfortable while you're talking about a really difficult topic or subject. Arla Alexander, I'm not sure if it's Arl Alexandra. Alexandra says, is it okay to quit a job due to a mental illness? I feel that it's making me worse. Of course it's okay. Aw, thanks, Brooke. You guys are all my inspiration. You're the ones that keep me going. Sorry, I had my leg pulled up and it's so warm here that I was sweating behind my knee. I should have got my towel ready. I actually just folded that and put that away today. Damn it, Katie. Damn it. But of course it's okay to quit a job due to mental illness. I talk about that. Actually, I have videos about that. Is Sheep here? Because Sheep is always on those. On the, oh, yay, Melita. I'm glad it went well. Hooray, hooray. Oh, thanks, Orbiting Around. But it's definitely, yeah. And T and Kate says, I quit my last job because of mental illness. And I have a video about it. You can just get on YouTube and search Katie Morton. Oh, Eddie, we have a new subscriber. You guys ready? Welcome to the family. Woo, woo, woo. And thanks, Dan, the newfie man. Woo, woo, woo. So yeah, so anyways, go onto YouTube, search Katie Morton, job or mental, I think I just searched Katie Morton job or career, and it should come up, because, okay, Allie's putting the link. I was like, there's a link, and that could really help with any of those questions. Thanks, Allie B, because it's important to take care of ourselves first. We can't keep doing something else if it's making it worse, because we have to take care of our mental health before we can do anything extra. Okay. There's a link. Thanks, Carly. And you can take a leave of absence. You can just take breaks. In the state of California, I know that we have, thank you, Melita. Woo, woo, woo. We have FMLA leave, means, and isn't it funny? It's like, fuck my life always. That's what I always think it means, but not that I know it means family, what is it? It's family medical leave and something. I forget what the A is, but you can apply for FMLA leave, and you can get up to 6 months of off with able to keep your job and come back to it. The pay kind of varies depending on how long and stuff like that. But you can apply for that, and you can definitely take a break. If work is becoming too much and it's detrimental to your mental health, then take a break. Okie dokie. Let's see. Okay, Riley, I'm just gonna say it like it looks like. Riley says, my therapist said we shouldn't work on my OCD tendencies. Is that bad? I'd ask her why. Because I think that it's always important to work on that if it's bothering you. I mean, if it's not bothering you at all at this point and you have a bigger fish to fry, so to speak, like bigger issues, things that are more upsetting, then maybe that's why. But I would ask, because if it is something that is bothering you or, you know, making your life harder and making it hard for you to function, then I think you should work on it. I think you should talk about it. Yeah, those are my thoughts. Oh, the Family Medical Leave Act. Thank you. Thanks for putting that in. I was like, I always just know it's Family Medical Leave, and then I don't know. I could never remember what the A was. Okay, let's see. Kylie says, I had to get off my medication because I couldn't afford to keep my health insurance. Oh, thank you, Bryson. Woo! Thank you. Coming in hot on this Friday. Yay, yay. Thanks, School Offie. Thank you, guys. Neil Lloyd, woo, woo, woo. We got people coming in hot today. Yay, yay, yay. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you. If you have any questions, let me know. Sheep is here. I see her. Okay. So someone was saying that they took off. Okay. Kylie says, I got off my medication because I couldn't afford to keep my health insurance. Feeling depression symptoms again. What should I do? Truly, I think that if you're able, and I know that we're not all able. Thank you for Jaden. Thank you. Woo, woo, woo. I find it's actually cheaper, just throwing that out there. For me, I wish I had the option to not have health insurance because I pay more out of pocket every month. I think Sean and I pay like $650 a month for health insurance. And most of the time we don't even use it. Like I only go for my checkups. And so part of me thinks that even though you can't afford to keep your health insurance, what if not paying that price allows you to go see your doctor once and to get your prescription and then go pay for your prescription? Like just, yeah, health insurance is really fucking expensive. But I think that, thanks Knit Jester, woo, woo, woo. I would try to see how much that costs because I know my GP will see me for $100. That's an appointment. That's a basic appointment, especially if I've already been prescribed something. They don't really need to see if it's a good fit for you. They already know. But then if you can afford that, that's really what I would do. Or I would look into other health insurance options. Like, is there Medicare or Medi-Cal? That's what we have. Medicaid, I think is what it's called in other states. But it just kind of depends on where you're at. You can find a way to get your needs met, even if you don't have the funding. Okay, let's see. I know health insurance does suck in the US, but the thing that's crazy is like, and I know everybody has differing opinions, but from what I've heard from a lot of you who live in the UK and Canada, that in some ways it's worse because you have to wait for like years to see a therapist and then you only get like 6 sessions or some garbage. And so I don't know. It's always, the grass is never greener. I don't know if there is a better way, but there's gotta be a better way. So I think there's gotta be a better way when, yeah, and that sucks too, Becca's saying. Yeah, totally. But yeah, hopefully as a whole, we can get our healthcare system like back online. Because yeah, so much money goes to taxes. Exactly. That's the problem that we hear most, especially even like Sean's family lives in Canada. And I always ask them about their thoughts on it. And they're like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to like really work much harder because then they, you pay almost 40% in taxes. And I'm like, what? So it just is what it is. There's no perfect way. I think what we should do, now I'm on a soapbox, I'm sorry. Thank you, Christopher, and thank you everybody for the likes. Something that would work, just gonna say it, because who knows, maybe this could work out, is that if we privatize it all, competition drives prices down, and then there'll be more options that people can buy across state lines. I think more competition in the healthcare space makes it better, and then people will be able to afford it. Because supply and demand, dude, like right now, like no, they're only like, I have 2 options. That's it. And I don't think that that's good for me as the consumer. So anyways, that's also frivolous lawsuits should just go to hell because that's what that's what makes the price of healthcare so expensive because then I have to pay $1 gazillion every year just to cover my ass legally. Just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there. I don't know why it's so hard. There are just a few things that are happening. Ugh. But anyway, okay. Let's get into your questions. Eddie says, what are causes of bulimia? It's going to vary so much, Eddie. I wish I had like is it Edie or Eddie? Because yours is spelled a little differently than Edie that we already know. the truth about it is that a lot of things can cause an eating disorder. It could be abuse in the past. It could be a trauma of any kind. It could be a bunch of little traumas. Eddie? Okay, cool. I was saying it right because it had 2 D's. That's why I was like, the other one, the Edie has 1 D. Anyway, okay, to the point. When it comes to eating disorder, it's a coping skill for something that's happening, essentially. And so anything that is too overwhelming or too much, or we can't handle it, and our brain doesn't have the time to process it, any of those things can cause an eating disorder. It doesn't have to be like a certain thing. And it could be a bunch of little things. Don't think that just because you haven't had a big abusive situation or a huge trauma in your life that you don't have the right to have a mental illness or eating disorder or anything like that, because that's just not how it works. Okay, let's see. Okay. Oh, your therapist talks about weight? Well, then you're going to have to speak up. If that makes you uncomfortable, you have to tell her that you don't like it. Yep, so you have to speak up for yourself, Eddie. Let her know you don't like that. Okay. Yeah, I agree. Limitations on how much pharmaceutical companies can charge for meds would help. The thing that would really help with, I think, that proponent, like the whole pharmaceutical company thing, is that if our FDA regulations were clearer, because what I've heard in different conferences, because often pharmaceutical companies come to like therapist conferences, thanks Jamie, to talk to us about medications that are up and coming and what they hope for the future. And one of the things they've mentioned is that the FDA, like in the States, is not clear with like what's going to be approved or not, or why not. And so they spend like millions and millions of dollars trying to get this medication approved, which I totally understand, safety first. But then in order to recoup that money, they charge a lot. And I think it's fucked up on both ends. So something's got to give. We got to get better. I've also heard on the down low from doctors that like, you know, people will get their pharmaceuticals across country lines, meaning going into Canada, because they're not approved by the FDA because the FDA is so difficult, and then get it so much cheaper because they didn't have to go through all those hoops and pay the FDA like $50,000 just to even look at it. So anyways, enough about that, right? Nobody likes politics. Okay, let's see. Brooke says, my therapist swears in our sessions. I don't mind it, but what are your thoughts on it? I think it's just a personal choice because I also swear in sessions. As you guys know, I swear all the time. But not with all of my clients. Like I do swear even kind of with, I don't see a lot of teens. I mainly see adults. But even with my teens, sometimes I'm like, oh, that sounds shitty. Just because that's how I would describe it. But I know if my clients tell me that they are like religious or that they are super conservative, or if I get that vibe from them, I'll usually hold back. If it bothers you, you can say something to her, but I think it's honestly just her being authentic. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Thanks, Christopher. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, Allie, my therapist swears and I like it. I know, right? I like it too. Thanks, Peggy. I do get comments sometimes from people. They're like, I wish you didn't swear. Then I could watch your videos. And I'm like, honey, I'm just not the right one for you. You have to find someone else to watch on YouTube. Oh yeah, Melita, my therapist sweared after I did. That's what usually happens is like if my client says something, then I'm like, oh, okay, they're cool. This is cool. We can do this. But I also have to be, you know, respectful and professional so I don't get too carried away with it. Yeah, it's less formal, Brooke. Exactly. It makes it feel more relatable and softer. Okay. Gary loves it. Yay! Yay, Gary. Okay. Leah says, what would you say about emotionally abusive parents to adult children? So if the parents, as an adult child, oh, thank you, Sarsnems. Am I saying that right? Woo, 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 woo. I know, I do like dropping the F-bomb. Me too, Aaron. So I'm assuming what you're asking, Leah, is that if you're an adult child and your parent is emotionally abusing you, what would I say to them? I think honestly, as an adult child, hopefully you're able to get out and you don't live at home anymore. And what I would encourage you to do, I know also like I want to respect the fact that that we have like different cultural norms and a lot of things. Oh, and Eddie, if you want more information about bulimia, I have a ton of videos on bulimia. I don't know if I have a playlist strictly for bulimia, but you can read all about it. You can watch all the videos about it. I talk about treatment options and all of that stuff. And maybe there's one that you can share with your family. Hopefully helps them better understand. But when it comes to emotionally abusive, if you're an adult child, I would set up boundaries. And I understand there's what I was getting around to was like there are different cultural norms and things that are expected, but that doesn't make it okay. If you're not okay with it and you find it upsetting and abusive, then I'm not okay with it, and it's not okay. And so I would limit the time spent, if at all, if I see them at all. But I think the important component is to attempt at least once, attempt communicating that to them in a safe way. Meaning if you, every time you see them, they scream at you, you cry, it's terrible, it's like abusive from the get, then the best way might be email. Or if you find that you can actually go over there and it's only like later in the night when you've spent like an entire day there that it starts to like get worse, then you could go, and at the beginning when you first get there, you could tell them, hey, this has been really upsetting. Every time I leave here, I cry. And so I want you to know that I would like to improve our relationship, and these are things I'm going to need from you, and these are things that I'm going to do. You try to set up some boundaries and hold them. And if they can't, then you have to also say, like, and if we're not able, I may just not see you for a while until I feel better about this. And be like, I love you. I want to fix this, but I can't. Oh, and Leah, if you live at home, save your money, girl. Get out. I know it's hard, but it's never as hard as we think. I'm sure you have friends that want to move out. I don't even care if your parents are like, no, you can't move out. That's not what you do. You wait till you get married or anything like that. Thanks, Charlotte Hall. Woo, woo, woo. Anything like that, I would not. Oh, Jen Asbell, you can ask your question about the new video. Thanks, Orbiting Around. I would just save that money. Save that money and then find 2 or 3 friends, get an apartment, and move out. And I know that it sounds harder, like really hard, but get a part-time job. You're smart, girl. You'll figure it out. I think where there's a will, there's a way, and we have to start somewhere. Yeah. You're saving. Yay! Oh, okay. You had a horrible move that cost all. Yeah, and that happens, and that sucks. For right now, I just limit the time at home, and I stay in my room if I could. I would just limit the amount of time I spend with them total, so that you can get out soon. Okay, save your money. As far as Eddie's question, I do not believe that eating disorders are a choice. No one chooses. Mental illness isn't a choice. I think I even have a video about that. I think you can probably Katie Morton, Is It a Choice? And you'd find it. So no, it's not. It's a coping skill because we really weren't taught other healthy coping skills or other ways to deal. So those are my thoughts on that. Okay, Jen Asbell says, can you have suicidal thoughts that just pop into your head out of nowhere as a result of depression? Yes. Short answer, Jen, is yes. You can have that. I think the difference is, are they always the same? Are you comfortable with the thoughts, or do you feel like they're more like violent than you normally would be comfortable with? And do they change all the time and you're like, do I really think that? No, I don't think that. It depends on how you respond to it. And I know that sounds really weird, but that's the difference kind of that I was talking about in the video that maybe wasn't quite as clear, because that was that short video I'd asked you guys if you wanted to see anyways, because it was really, really short. And so anyway, I would notice if when those suicidal thoughts come into your head like that, are they things that you're comfortable with or not comfortable with? And that will tell us kind of whether it's a part of OCD. Also, have you been diagnosed with OCD before? If you're diagnosed with OCD, then it could be a component of that. But if it's not, and you've just been depressed for a long time and your suicidal thoughts come and go for almost like no reason, it really is the reason is that you're depressed and you're having a hard time, even though it feels like they pop out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? Is that making sense? I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions. Okay. Evie, I have a video on emetophobia. Already did it. You got it, dude. Patty Kubota, am I religious? No, I am not. But that doesn't mean that you can't be. Don't think that I just make choices that are right for me, and you make choices that are right for you. Sunny Music, have I struggled with the eating disorder? No, I have not, but a lot of my, thanks, Jodkins, woo, woo, woo. But a lot of my training, for any of my new Kenyans who haven't been around for a long time, a lot of my training, also, Allie, I can give you that, your information, but a lot of my training was in an eating disorder inpatient. Almost the majority of my hours when I first started gaining my hours to get my license was all in an inpatient unit. And then I moved to a PHP IOP program and then into a hospital. So yeah, eating disorders are just kind of my shtick. It's what I learned the most about. Thanks, Go To Marjan. Yay, 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 yay. Grooming video, Allie, I'll be filming. So I'm filming another group of videos. Not a ton of them, probably, because I don't know how much time I have. But if you hear something, it's because I'm fiddling with my slippers. I'm sorry. I'm hot, and then I'm cold, and then I'm hot. Thanks, Christopher. But I'll be filming the grooming video and a couple other videos. I have one video I have to film for mental health. I think it's World Mental Health Day, it's called. It's like October 10th or something. Anyways, got to cover that. But yeah, I'll be filming that then, Allie. I have it on my list, and I just have to prep the content. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'll probably do that the rest of today and maybe a little bit over the weekend, and then I'll film early next week. And so it'll come. I know temperature regulate. Does anybody else have trouble regulating their temperature? I'm this way all the time. Like, seriously, I'll be like fine, and then all of a sudden I'm like, why am I sweating so bad? I don't know. Is like my body all weird? Like, what happened to me? But yeah, of course, Allie. So I'm assuming it'll come out in the next like month, because I usually film like a month at a time, just so you guys kind of know. Okay. Yes, awkward introvert feels the same. I know, maybe it is our age. I don't know. I always thought, I was like, is it because I did hot yoga for like a minute? Did that like fuck with my system? I shouldn't have done that free month. Damn it, Groupon. But, you know? Hey. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, Nick, I'm sweating and cold at the same time. Ryan Kyler's asking, what is mindfulness? And I'll guess somebody right after this because we're already 30 minutes in. It's crazy. Mindfulness is when we, in the best, I don't believe in hokey bajoky, like hippy dippy bullshit, okay? Do you like all the rhyming I just did then? I do. Mindfulness is really our way of, instead of putting all of our focus outside, because we often worry about like what we see. Thanks, Marie. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What we see, what we hear, what we think people are thinking about us, what's expected of us. We have all these external things coming at us all the time. So our focus is always outside of ourselves. It's always about what people perceive of us, things that we need to get done, what we need to do, where we need to be, what this person looks like, what we're going to wear that day. We have all this stuff that we're focused on the outside. Mindfulness is a way of bringing it in. So instead of focusing out on other things, we can think and be more aware of how our body feels that day, what we're thinking about situations, ourselves, how we feel about all of that. So it's just a way of slowing things down and putting our focus in instead of out. And that's why I think it's great to do that each and every day so that we can keep in touch with ourselves. Because our body and our mind, like, it tells us things, and if we ignore it for too long, that's when all of a sudden we have like an outburst or we cry for no reason, but really we have all these reasons built up. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Oh, Anika, I don't have any pets. I really want a pet, but it's hard. First of all, we can't have like large pets at our place. There's like a weight limit and all sorts of stuff. 2, Sean's allergic to cats, so that sucks. 3, we both work from home at this point, and so we kind of felt like if we got an animal, it would take all our energy. Thanks, Dominica? Am I saying that right? Woo-hoo-hoo. And so I know I really want a squirrel, Allie. I'm not gonna lie. My mom, okay, now I'm getting all over the place, but I really do, and Sean and I both really do want pets. We're just not in a position to have them. We'd like to have some outdoor space for them to run around so that we can, you know, get work done in the day. Otherwise, I'll just be like, oh, you're so cute all day long. But for the squirrel, Allie, my mom, so I talk to my mom almost every day. She's my best friend. So I was talking to her one day and she's like, she calls me sis. I don't know why. All the people in my family call me sis. So she's like, sis, you're never going to believe it. I went down to the shed because like we have the old house I grew up in. My mom she couldn't live there after my dad passed away. And so she rents it out. But the shed, AKA my dad's garage where he kept all his stuff and spent most of his time, she still goes into that because that's still like the owner's area. So she's like, I had to go down to the shed because I needed to get, you know, like a certain screwdriver or something. And she's like, and Charlotte, my mom's dog, she's like, was going crazy, running around like a nut. And she's like, and I was like, what is she doing? She was barking and going crazy. Yes, Mayor Fleur, she found a squirrel. There was a baby squirrel running through the rafters. I meant to ask my mom, because she was like, we need to seal up the hole, because it's getting in, and she found where it was getting in. She's like, so I need to go down and seal up the hole, and then I need to figure out how to get it out of there without hurting it. And so I guess she went to like some pet store in the Home Depot or something to ask them for like some kind of way to catch it where it doesn't like scare it to death or hurt it. And I was like, oh my God, Mom, if you can get a hold of that thing, I'm a coming. As long as it doesn't have a mommy, because I don't want to separate it from its mommy, but I would love to be its new mommy. And she was like, Katie, that's ridiculous. What if it has some virus or anything? I'm like, I'll take it to the vet. Whatever. Get it taken care of. Get its shots, its baby shots or whatever. Anyways, really, really wanted it. So yeah, that's the thing. Okay. Thanks, Claudette. Woo, woo, woo. Okay, let's guess somebody because we're running out of time. Let's see. We haven't checked in with, isn't it Ava? I believe that's the name, is Ava, even though it's Avrakritz. Let's see if we can connect with her and see how she's doing. Yay! Hi!
Hi!
It's been so long. How are you?
I'm alright, actually. It's been quite a long time. I think since we've last spoken, I've been over to Sweden to visit Adelina, who I met on the live stream.
Oh, awesome!
A few months ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. I don't know, so I had those problems with the exam, but I made it to the next grade being impatient, which is cool.
Yeah.
I guess I had some really bad depression in between and like eating problems and stuff, but like I don't know if you can help me with this. I don't know. It's been like I've been like for like a few days and before that like a few weeks or months, I've always been getting like random thoughts of like catastrophic things that happen, not like in a nature way or something, just like just imagining like I'm sitting here and someone like I'm sitting here and like my father will come up and shout at me, nothing to do with my father or something, or like I'm sitting in class or someone will immediately start laughing at me, and everyone will, or like someone will come up and shout at me or something. I don't know. Is it like I'm just like
those thoughts just pop up in your head randomly, like all of a sudden, like, oh my God, what if that happened?
Yeah, and it's like not even if it happened. It's more like it's really weird. It feels like I know it's going to happen, as if I had like a sixth sense or something. As if I had like I don't know, if I could like foreshadow what's going to happen. I don't know. Is it like, could that like be a symptom of like psychosis or something?
No, don't worry. That's not
No?
a symptom of psychosis.
Okay.
Unless that's just not in my mind. Like quickly, I'm like, no, that's not psychosis. Psychosis would be like things that don't make sense, like
Yeah.
like with what's going on. And usually, my clients, even if they have some kind of psychotic thoughts, they'll be like, I know it's paranoia, or I know that something's not right, but I can't help but think it. And so you don't have anything like that. It sounds more to me like intrusive thoughts, which are usually part of OCD to some extent,
Yeah,
or anxiety.
I do have OCD. Just like very differently. I have got it with like cleaning.
Yeah,
So,
totally.
yeah.
And OCD can show itself in many forms. So like, yeah, some people have, the compulsions to clean or to keep things symmetrical or stuff like that. But a lot of people don't have any of that, and they have more just the intrusive thoughts where it's like all of a sudden stuff pops into my head that's like scary or I don't like, and I don't know where it came from. And I'm like, is this, you try to make sense of it. Like, am I like trying to predict the future? Like, what is this? Do I think this is what's going to happen? Or it's truly just part of the OCD. And what the best way to combat it, in the same way that we would combat like a behavior, where with OCD, if we stop doing the behavior, the compulsion to do it goes away.
Yeah.
With these thoughts, if we don't follow it down, if we stop it, like just shouting stop in your head can work, distracting yourself can work. There's a lot of different things. You have to find what works best for you. But, but that's the best way to stop it, is to not engage with it. So if it pops up, like, I know this is just an intrusive thought, I'm going to do this instead. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing kind of like from DBTA, like DBT therapy, that I've been thinking, okay, this is absolutely unreasonable. I can't predict the future because that's not a thing and stuff. And I just thought like, I'm going insane. So it's like, I just keep thinking, why am I believing this?
It's normal. a lot of people have them. Don't think that it makes you crazy. I know it makes us feel crazy because we're like, what the hell is this about?
Yeah.
But it's part of the anxiety component of OCD where like we feel overwhelmed and so our brain's like trying to fire like to make sense of things. It's like I don't know. It comes out of that. It's like kind of hypervigilance.
Yeah.
Oh, Laura H. Holy moly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woo, 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 woo.
Wow, that's a lot.
But yeah, try to not engage and see if they get better and let me know.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Of course, it's so good to see you, and I'm glad your tests went well. I wondered how those did.
Yeah. I'm so relieved that this now went well at the beginning of the school year, especially as I've also like counted other OCD things because like the exam thing is OCD for me, and I never used to be able to sit on my bed. And then at the last exam I did, which I didn't, it was complicated. I didn't manage to write it, but they let me pass the grade anyway. When I was still in the clinic, I told my therapist, no, I didn't do it, but I'm so angry, I'm just gonna lie in my bed and sleep. So I did exactly that. And now I can sit on my bed, which I haven't done in like 7 years before that.
Oh, wow.
Which is
Look
insane.
at you.
Yeah. I don't know, it's great. But so I guess it makes sense that like it's kind of starting to slither around and go looking for some other things it can do.
Yeah.
Which like
sometimes like
depression.
Roadblocks in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My depression has been so bad over the summer, and then I've like started to venture out into eating, but luckily my therapist got that out of me quite quickly again.
Yeah.
So
it tries to find unhealthy coping skills and unhealthy ways out. So we just have to try to find new healthy ones and stop it every time. I know it's exhausting, but it gets better.
I think you've got a spammer in the comments there.
You. And that's fine. That's fine. But thank you for being on, and thanks for keeping us posted.
Thank you so much. I always love it.
Yeah, me too. Have a good weekend.
You too. Bye.
Bye. That's so exciting. Yay, yay, yay. And I wanted to ring. Okay, headphone users. We had a new Kenyan. Thanks for becoming part of the family. I think it was it Claudette? Did I remember the name right? I didn't write it down, but it's somewhere in here, and I think that's one of our new members. Woo! And Laura H, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the tip. Coming in hot on a Friday. Woo, 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 woo. Okay. And Sarah had been asking about a term that was on their document. If it's not mental health related, that's what I am. I'm a licensed therapist. Thanks, orbiting around. Woo, woo, woo. So if it's not mental health related, I'm not going to know what that means. That's something I would talk to your doctor about. Okay, so that's what I would do. And if you have questions about it or you don't understand, I'd ask them. And you can also Google it because it's it's not something that I do. Yeah, thanks, Knit Jester. So I don't know what orogenic means. I'd talk to your doctor. They said it was mental health. Never heard that term. I would, honestly, the only thing I'm going to do now, just because I'm curious, is to Google it. Because I've never heard someone use that term. And it could be like an archaic way of describing something. Oh, that's not even spelled correctly. I don't even know, you guys. It's like, did you mean... I don't know. I can't, it doesn't even, I don't know, you guys. It's not a real, I just think it means, you guys think it means organic? I don't know. I've never heard that used. Oh, epithelial cells. Interesting, Sarah. I know Sarah has a whole wealth of knowledge. Oh, Sarah, when you go to a new one, ask them. Because it's not something that I've never used that. It could mean genetic, could be like organic, which is kind of like when things just come out of our bodies. Like it's a organic way of happening of having something happen. That wasn't even English. I'm sorry. But yeah, I don't know. So ask them what they meant. That's what's important. Okay. Thanks, little Dutchie. Hey, Karen, don't worry. Me too. Okay. Let's see. Jen Asbel says, is it possible to not want to eat, but it not be eating disorder related, just like sick of food, no appetite, or maybe just eating disorder being sly? It could be eating disorder being sly. Also, a lot of different mental illnesses cause our hunger fullness cues to go all sorts of wacky. It's like We could have depression that makes us extra hungry or not hungry at all. Same with anxiety. Mental illness as well as medications can affect our hunger fullness. So I would definitely talk to them. And also, I think if it is your eating disorder being sly, pay attention to it. Make sure you're not engaging with it. Maybe it's time we follow a meal plan and we talk to our doctor and our therapist and kind of see where it's coming from. But thanks, Ben. Woo, 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 woo. Thank you. But that would be just kind of like my thoughts on it, because there's a lot of different reasons that our appetite can get off. But that doesn't mean, it's eating disorder related, but they can be sneaky. So don't let them back in. And that's why sometimes I have my clients when they're having a hard time. I know I load the troll. You and me both. But if we don't pet them, remember we learned this, remember we had so many trolls one day? I think it was just one person coming back in. But if we don't talk about them or do anything, then it's like they don't exist, which is what, should happen. But anyway, that would be my advice, Jen. Maybe it's time to talk with a therapist more about it, to figure out where it's coming from you, like what's your issue with it, and then working with a dietitian or going back to a meal plan for a while until it kind of rights itself. Okay. Get your troll repellent on. Exactly. Okay, T and Kate says, I've tried to get help for mental health for years, but I'm always told I'm not engaging with professionals, so they can't help. How can I get someone to help me? It may be beneficial. This is just, Katie, you got so many different stickers. I love it. This is awesome. Okay, so anyways, I think it might be beneficial if we struggle to engage with them. It depends on what they meant by this, because my thought automatically goes to maybe CBT would be best for you, because maybe you just need directives, you need homework, you need this is what we tried to do for this week. Come back, and it's short term. Traditional CBT can be anything from 6 to 10 sessions. I think it's usually 6 to 8, but sometimes I know it runs a little longer. And so it's just one of those things that you can try, because maybe having more direct focus could be best. But if we aren't engaging at all, if we aren't sharing any information, we can't talk to them, it's hard for us to do our job. It'd be like going to the doctor, and when they ask you, your medical doctor, and then you ask them, you made the appointment, and they come in and they're like, well, why are you here? And you're like, I don't know. And they're like, well, what are your symptoms? I don't know. Then they can't help you. And it's the same with us. If we don't know what's going on and how you're actually feeling, we can't help. I've had to refer clients, not even refer them out necessarily, but tell them hey, come back when you're ready, because right now I can't help, And so it's you really have to consider it from that point of view. And that's how you find someone that's a good fit for you. Someone you finally either A, feel like you can talk with, B, you're ready to actually talk, or C, maybe you just need more direct stuff. Maybe you just need homework because that's how you prefer to do therapy. Maybe all this jibber jabber talking through stuff isn't for you. You want directives and things to do. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay. Anika says, Katie, any tips for coping with anxiety at work? I usually listen to calming music to calm down and relax. That can help. I've heard from a lot of you that you use fidget toys at work, or making your area at work very calming and peaceful for you. There are a lot of different things that you can do. It kind of depends on what works for you. Also, for some of my clients, just getting up from their desk every hour for a couple of minutes, going to get more water, going to walk to the bathroom, just moving can help. That would be kind of my advice, but you have to find something that works for you and that your whole work environment's okay with. Because I know for some people, they can't play music at work and you can't have headphones in. I don't know what the rules are, but that's why we find different things that work for us as we need them. And just making sure to take a break as you might feel maxed out or as something comes up. But you're going to have to Wildflower says eat lunch outside. Also, just having someone you can text with during the day can be helpful, or maybe having a journal app on your phone. So when you take your break, you're writing out a little bit about how you're feeling. And if you need more support at work, then finding other ways to get it. If there's a friend at work that you can step outside and talk with or anything like that. Finding ways to make it work for you. Okay. Oh, bye, Letitia. You got a busy Saturday. I keep forgetting you're in the future. I was in the future earlier too, but now I'm back in California. Okay, Awkward Introvert says, how do you know if your parents are emotionally abusive? I have a great video where I break down, I think it's like the 5 most common emotionally abusive situations. You can watch my video. Just, oh, Kim, it didn't give you notifications? What? Some people said they got them, and then some people said they didn't, and I don't know why. But I have a video, just search Katie Morton emotional abuse, and it'll come up, and you can watch it, and that will give you some better ideas on how. Thank you, Sheep. Sheepishness put the link. Woo, woo, woo. And so that hopefully can kind of help you better understand. Oh, Gary, you never get them? Maybe if you, are you guys subscribed to me on here? Or not subscribed, but a fan? That's what it is. You have to become a fan. If you become a fan, then I think it notifies you. And if you have your notifications turned on, because in the profile of your You Now thing, you can turn that on. Thanks, me, Holly Ann. Woo, 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 woo. Okay. Let's guess somebody else because we have 10 more minutes before I hop over to the Patreon version. Okay, let's see how Mayor Fleur is doing, and then Aaron, you're up next. Okie dokie. Okie dokie.
Does it work with headphones or should I take them off?
I hear you just fine. Do you hear me okay?
Fine, yeah.
Hooray!
It works this time. Yay!
It worked! Yay! I still use your mug, by the way.
Does it work?
The lenses. Some of the paint has come off because it said to hand wash it, and I'm lazy. But
I get it. I don't have a dishwasher, but so it's piling up like.
Oh, so you have to hand wash everything.
yeah, and fruit flies are kind of
aplenty.
Hitting it this time. Doing their work, being annoying little.
As they are, they're always.
I saw someone who said I was quiet. Maybe
It is a little quiet. I hear you, but I don't know if it's like how far you are away from your computer. Maybe.
Yeah.
Hi, kitty. That's your picture, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's my buddy. He's my cuddle buddy. And he wants those cuddles. He needs those cuddles. He gets really sad if he doesn't.
Oh.
So he's basically on my lap whenever I sit. He
that's
literally
so cute.
Run towards the couch as soon as I saw it, as I was sitting down. It's like, so excited.
Need the cuddles. Give me the cuddles. But is there a way to get closer to your microphone? People are saying it's a little quiet.
Well, this way is the way that I can do it. Maybe if I turn up my sound, that could work. This
I don't know.
Doesn't work. Maybe if I speak up a bit.
Yeah, you can speak up. But what's going on? Tell me what's up.
Well, there's been a lot of progress. A lot of it. And I'm going to get more help. But going to get more help kind of also means that I have to say goodbye to the people who have helped me build my trust with
with professionals.
With asking for help. Yeah, because I had some nasty experiences. And now I discovered why they were so incredibly nasty. Because they remind me of my mum. Great.
Interesting. That can happen.
Yeah. They doubted my motivation, which is what my mum does. Like, all the
that's
time.
The worst. Yeah.
That's the worst.
That's terrible.
So yeah, and I've discovered there's trauma involved with my mum. Because she's the kind of person who's really with the zone of a low and high zone. She's up there. She uses fear. She is dependent on fear. So when I don't do anything, she thinks, oh, there's lack of motivation. Let's use fear, which make me go even there.
Yeah, like shrink down more, because
So yeah, that might have been really bad for me, which would explain why everything's so hard.
Yeah, of course. And I think it's like sometimes having those realizations, even though it's helpful in therapy, doesn't make us feel better. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, shit. Yeah, like...
And like more things are like adding up because I somewhat knew my mum, that my mum wasn't ideal and it wasn't perfect, but
Yeah.
I still got the feeling that she cared for me, but her caring is like this very harsh way of trying to
Yeah, it's
push
like
me
tough
every
love
day.
versus soft love that you're getting.
Yeah,
And you
she.
maybe, like everybody needs soft love sometimes too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
Well, I'm
she's
sorry.
just not very good at that. And
Yeah.
there's also the perfectionism and her never, well, giving you like good job
Yeah.
and compliments and saying how well you've done, or that sweetness. Just
Yeah.
she's very tense. She's just yeah.
Yeah. No, I
So
think a lot of
yeah.
people in the comments are saying they feel the very same. They have the same situation. And I think something that all of us, everyone, comes into contact with at some point, unless you have like perfect parents and upbringing, which I feel like nobody does, is we all go through this period of time where we all of a sudden realize the faults of our parents and we recognize how it affected us. And
Mm,
something that has been really healing for a lot of my clients is writing letters, not that you send, but writing letters to that parent of all the things that you wish they could have done for you
mm,
as a way of like healing from it, kind of like these are the things I needed, because in a way, when we don't have a parent that gives us what we need, we often stop expressing that need even though it still exists. And so it's like we don't feel safe saying we need something, or that that's upsetting, or crying about it because we're told like toughen up and get this
yeah,
together, and
yeah, yeah. Like you're overreacting, and
yeah,
and her
versus
way of
saying like
pushing
I'm so
just
sorry,
tight
you know.
rules, just very
Yeah.
strict rules. She has made me feel. That's my medication reminder.
Oh, okay.
Um, she has made me feel like I was a silly one for wanting to throw away old coffee. It was there was water in it. I wanted to throw it away, and I got like a very angry mom. Like, you can't do that. Those beans are expensive. You're not gonna make anyone happy with spoiled coffee. What you
Yeah,
want to make? She wanted me to drink it. She wanted me to drink it because it was meant for me, and she's just this. She
just
is.
everything has to be her
She's just.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She's this very tight, strict thing. Like everything around that is just no good. She doesn't allow any like my dad couldn't really get involved with the bringing up things because she had this really like tight zone of this is how it should be, and everything outside that she would occasionally scream like the smallest things, and I
Yeah.
think that might have made me really scared. Everything.
Naturally, that totally
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah,
It's
and
what else are you supposed to do? Like think of it, like
what are you
how else would
supposed to
anyone
do?
react? You
Is
can't
this?
respond to that because no one lives in this perfect thing.
No, I know she doesn't, and it's
No.
stressing her out, and it's,
Hmm.
but somehow it works for her. Doesn't
It's
really, but
it's her own unhealthy coping skill, truthfully, and it's really more on
mm,
her and her. It shows us her need for help, but because you were
mm,
raised in that, we're gonna have to find ways to help you
she won't
heal from
help
all of
those
that.
things. She just gets really pissed. She doesn't just go like the when you question her rules, you get full strong on no, this has to be this way because everything no, it's
Yeah, I feel you.
she's
It's
70.
exhausting.
I can't really do anything about it, and which has made me think through to celebrations like Christmas. The, I mean, it's really hard for me to be around her, and there's still a part of me that wants that affection, which I
Of
know is
course.
there.
But I
I
think,
know it's there, and it's
yeah,
just so frustrating because most of the things that I'll get from her is like, that is not correct, that it should be better, and it's just like this very negative trying to control everything. Like it's just this tenseness that is barely
Yeah.
gone. It's like she takes a bath every Wednesday evening, and after that she's relaxed. That's about the
And
only
only for
time.
that time.
Yeah, she's just this.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad you're getting more help because it
Yeah,
gives you a place to talk about it and to feel heard versus feeling
yeah,
like everything that you've ever thought or felt isn't right because that's not true. But it's going to take us a while to believe that we're worthy and to believe that it's
yeah,
okay to feel how we feel.
yeah, and I still
Um,
feel like I have to, defend
mhm.
her because
Yeah. Well, she's your
still,
mom, and that's why
yeah,
it's so confusing. And I think that's
and
kind of
she
why. Mhm.
because she tried her best, she really did, and just that her best occasionally kind of bordered on the somewhat abusive kind of like threatening to go away when you got really emotional,
No,
just
I think it is
like I
very
don't want to
emotionally
deal with
abusive.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and getting pushed aside because she had this like I have to do everything right now, and if I don't everything will fall apart. Just
Yeah. And
so
I
yeah.
think getting help will be the best thing and it will change your
Yeah,
life for the better because
yeah,
it's a process and it's going to
I'm
be
getting
hard
more
too
help.
because sometimes we have to allow ourselves to grieve the loss of like what we'd hoped to get from our mom. I think that's the hardest part when it comes to like a parent is we have to let ourselves cry and be sad and
Yeah,
disappointed with what we got
yeah,
because there's unfortunately we don't get to choose, you know?
no,
But I'm
and
really glad you're getting help
it's
and do keep us
partially
posted and let us know how it goes, you know?
yeah. I'll be
Um,
getting exposure therapy for so
good.
that should help with my agoraphobia and maybe
Yeah.
also other phobias that I've apparently also have. My cat
No,
is just
yeah.
cat
Well, I'm
ups.
proud of you. I'm proud of you for reaching out
Yeah,
and
yeah.
finding a better fit for you.
Well, yeah. So that they can, it's like a team, a more close team, that so that they, if I have trouble, they can basically come almost every day, like 5 days a week. There's a possibility for that,
Oh,
and they
yay.
just
Awesome.
have a lot more freedom. So they, if um, if I have trouble shopping, they could potentially come and shop with me. That
Oh,
would
awesome. So
be
they can
just
help you along the way.
yeah, like filling up my
Yay.
fridge, making sure I have enough food because that is somehow really hard
Yeah,
sometimes.
no, we
Like,
all
I
have
don't want to go
limitations.
outside.
So,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, keep me posted. Let me know how all the treatment goes. But I'm proud of you.
yeah, yeah.
It's so good to see you. Thanks for being on, Fleur. Bye,
What's,
honey.
yeah, yeah, I'm struggling with words right now. Okay,
That's okay.
thanks
That's
for
okay.
letting me on. I was, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll see you
thanks.
soon. Bye, honey.
Bye.
Yeah, and I think it's something we have I'm going to switch over to Patreon in just a minute. If any of you are curious, it'll come up on a post on my profile page, on the Patreon page, and then we'll do the rest of the live stream over there. And Jen, I did get your letter. Thank you for sending it. I said that on the other live stream. And thank you for the likes, everybody. Woo! But I think it's really important that we understand that sometimes we have to grieve what we thought our parents could give us because they weren't able. And it's not that we're blaming our parents for being shit parents, but some of them they are. But they're still our parents, and we can't do anything about them. We didn't get the ability to pick our parents. We're stuck with them. We're just born into it. And so working in therapy to grieve that loss can really help. And it can help us move on because we can't go back in time and make it better, but we can, we can give ourselves the space needed to be sad about it until we feel better. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, thanks, Ashley Basta Volleyball. You guys too. So we will be, and yes, I do believe, by the way, Heftum, that you can get over that loss. We just have to give ourselves the space and time to grieve it. I think if we don't grieve it, that's when it keeps coming back up. And writing a letter to a parent, expressing all the things you wish they could be a part of or you wish they could do for you. And it's more for you than them. This isn't something we're sending to them. And then it can also be a part of like, What do you need? What would you really, in a dream world, want them to give you? What have they given you, and how can we make it work for the future if you want? Like, how can we compromise so that the relationship is healthy and they're able to meet us, like, to meet us in the middle at least? Like, what are the things you think they can give you, and what can you be okay with getting from them? Does that make sense? And so hopefully that kind of helps. But I'm popping over to Patreon now. Thank you all so much for hanging out. If you want to see, all you have to do is just become a Patreon patron. Even $1 works. But yeah, I'll see you over there. Let's hang out. It's actually a much slower, like, easier chat to manage and everything like that. So I love you all. If I don't see you over on the Patreon page, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Sending extra love your way, and I will see you all soon. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.